Oh my god, that is a cool spell effect. Hey guys, Ronan here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing some more mod reviews here, and I will be using the built-in mod manager with Baldur's Gate 3, so when it is released for Mac and future consoles, all the mod reviews I do on the channel, you'll be able to do as well. Today we're going to be looking at one of my favorite subclasses, the Blood Sorcerer. I think Sorcery is such a cool class. My Frost Mage was a sorcerer for my first honor mode playthrough, and it's probably my favorite build I ever made to date. So checking out the Blood Sorcery I think is a good subclass to start with. Comment down below any other classes you want to check out. I'm thinking of doing Mindweaver possibly next, or Witch. They're both really cool sounding, so we'll see what comes. All right, let's go ahead and break it down. All right, guys, so the whole concept of the Blood Sorcerer is essentially all your spells are considered necromancy that you want to use, and it does some incredible damage. You bleed enemies, you have advantage against bleeding enemies, you can make yourself bleed and then in return do extra damage and take less damage. You're essentially utilizing the ability of turning pain into power, if that makes sense, and it is really strong, probably a little overtuned if you ask me, but I also really like doing challenge runs anyway, so it is what it is. So keep in mind, if you're playing this with a group of 4, you're probably going to destroy the game because it's really strong. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of these spells and whatnot and everything else in between. I am utilizing Gale here. If you want a full build breakdown of how you could potentially use this for a solo honor mode run, let me know, because I'm really tempted to use the Blood Sorcerer for a solo honor mode run because it seems really fun. So if you want to see me live stream that, comment down below, and once I start to live stream again, that's probably what I'll end up doing. It is of course a sorcerer, so it's charisma based. It's just a new subclass, and all the gear that I have here are all things that I wanted to test throughout this video. So like the wound closure necklace, this allows you to essentially heal max for secondary effects, so things like second wind and stuff like that. Well, there's some effects we're going to be talking about shortly that can heal you when standing in blood, so I wanted to see if this affects that. The Kalos Glow Ring and Corsication Ring, although these are very powerful, if you end up getting hit by your own abilities, you can proc these on yourself. So in this video, I want to test that to see if this will happen if I hurt myself. Naturally, because your spells that you utilize are considered necromancy spells, the Staff of Cherished Necromancy, well, does this get affected by that? Spoiler alert, it does. Goated Staff here, really strong. I wanted to see if any of the new cantrips you get, if it's going to be affected by the Potent Robe for the extra damage. And of course, I just wanted to make myself really strong, so I added Birthright and things like that. So coming down here, let's take a look at some of the secondary effects you have for being the Blood Sorcerer, and then we'll talk about all the really badass spells, and you'll see my initial reactions and stuff like that when I go to test things out. So you have Sacrificial Spell. So the spells that you cast are considered necromancy. So all these new spells you can see, they're all considered necromancy. Well, with this here, you literally ignore resistance and immunity to necrotic damage. Wow. Massive. That is really strong. Scrolling on up, of course, you have Hemomancy, so you have advantage when attacking bleeding targets, which is massive because you have multiple ways to make enemies bleed. You have Grim Harvest, essentially the Necromancer subclass feature you get as the Blood Sorcerer. So once per turn, if you kill a target with a spell, guess what? If it's part of your Necromancy spells, you gain HP based off of the spell slot level that you use, which is pretty nice. Scrolling on up, you have Blood Vitality, and this is where the necklace of wound closure came in that I wanted to test out. So Blood Vitality, if you're standing in blood at the start of your turn, you can heal for 3d4 hit points. Blood Power uses deal additional necrotic damage when you are bleeding, and because you have multiple ways to make yourself bleed, this is powerful. Blood Magic, guess what? You add your charisma modifier to your blood spells, which is huge. And I wanted to see if that double dipped with the Potent Robes here, since this adds charisma modifiers to your cantrips, and you do have blood cantrips for this. Scrolling on up, and I think that may be the last thing other than Blood Homing, advantage when attack rolls against bleeding creatures. So let's take a look at these spells here, because the spells are really really powerful. You don't even need to utilize any other offensive spell whatsoever. So the spells you see on this list that aren't part of the blood mod, you don't even need to use. I would recommend using utility spells instead. But cantrip wise, you have 3 new cantrips here. You have Blood Bolt, which is massive. At max rank, it's 3d12. So at level 1, it would be 1d12. Does tons of damage. Does 3 to 36 necrotic damage. And the caster yourself, you will actually take necrotic damage. So the whole like pain is power. When you damage enemies, you kind of make yourself take damage. But if you're bleeding, you take 0 damage. And remember, with your spell effects or like the subclass features, if you're bleeding, you also do additional damage. So that's how it works. You have Blood Sacrifice. So this is a bonus action con save. So do keep that in mind. Con saves are the hardest saves usually that pass in this game. But you make yourself and the enemy bleed, which is a great way in order to get yourself bleeding right away and create a blood surface on the ground below you. And you have Blood Needle, another really powerful cantrip. This maims your target, and maiming is really strong, guys. Their movement speed is 0, and they have disadvantage on dexterity saving throws. If you're fighting melee, well, being able to make them not move whatsoever is massive. Think about if you paired like a Tiger Heart Barbarian with a Blood Sorcerer. I mean, you guys would just destroy the game. All right, so let's take a look at the new spells then, starting from rank 1 all the way up to rank 5 and 6 and stuff like that. So you have Blood Rebuke. This is a reaction, and you can upcast this to do a lot of damage. And trust me, it does a lot of damage. It's really strong. You have Blood Bath. This is essentially create water, but better. You create a massive like water surface around the enemies, and you make them bleed and do necrotic damage. Blood Ray, exactly what it sounds like. If you think of Scorching Ray, the fire spell that you can get to hit multiple times, this is essentially the Blood Sorcerer version of it, but way better. Blood Spike, really fantastic. You essentially absorb the blood underneath the enemy to do big, massive AoE damage to them. Really strong. Even if they pass their saving throw, they still take damage. You have Sanguine Feast. So because there are multiple ways to hurt yourself when you do damage, especially with some of these higher ranked spells we'll talk about shortly, this is a nice way to heal. You essentially just do an AoE around the target, around yourself, I should say, and it will heal you for damage dealt. Don't worry, I will be showcasing, all these shortly. Crimson Blast, let's be real. This is the opening spell I had in the intro. I think this is so freaking cool looking. You take a lot of damage though. If you do this in an AoE, you can see you take 1 to 8 necrotic damage for each target hit, half if you're bleeding. So be careful because you can take a lot of damage in AoE of this, but it's a badass spell and it looks really sick. Essentially think of massive bleeding fireball. Blood Storm, so it's kind of like the Ice Storm but blood version of this. Really strong, looks really cool as well. You have Grasp of the Dead. This is really cool because this literally can hit multiple enemies at once and it will make them be put in place with restrained. And because this is a spell, one thing I wanted to test this is with meta magic. If you had things like Quicken Spell, obviously that's going to work. What about Extended Spell? Will this extend the restrained status? Spoiler, it does. It's really strong. And of course, the last one, Crimson Leech. This is basically the Blood Sorcerer version of Disintegrate. Really cool. Keep in mind, you have to be bleeding when you use this because you can read. It does massive damage. Huge. So you want to be bleeding when you use this because if you're already bleeding, you're going to do additional damage, have advantage and all that cool stuff from all your subclass features. But if the target disintegrates into 0, they crumble to ash. So like Disintegrate, but you deal 40 necrotic damage when you cast this. But if you're bleeding, you also take 0 damage. So if you're bleeding, you're going to have all the cool bonuses for extra damage, advantage and stuff like that. And you'll take 0 damage from this. Trust me, you can kill yourself if you're not bleeding, so be careful. But it's really badass. So essentially all these spells revolve around doing bleed and damage to the enemies, extra damage if they're bleeding, and like CC effects like that, while also doing damage to yourself. The whole pain is power thing I think is really sick. So let's go ahead, and you can see this when I go to basically test it out live, because I just tested it and it's really cool. All right. So I guess I'm going to just open up with Bloodbath. This seems to be very similar to Create Water. As you can see, it's like the animation looks very similar. So if I heightened it, let's go ahead and just make it bigger and get the enemies in there. All right, so you can see all these guys, because I made most of them bleed, all of them got radiating orbs on top of the enemy, which is fantastic. So let's take a look at the combat log real quick so we can see what happened here. So they took necrotic damage, which then procced my ring from the Kalos glow ring, because they're in a surface that is glowing because of the radiating orbs. So yeah, that's a great way to get bleeding on everybody, get a lot of radiating orbs. Some of them might have reverberation from my gear. Like, it's very powerful. All right, so let's go ahead and see what happens if I go to use my bonus action, because we know some of these spells I want to bleed as well. So let's try to make, I mean, these guys are already bleeding. We'll do it against you anyway. Make you even more bleeding. I'm also bleeding. So you can see I take slashing damage every turn, and I have disadvantage on Constitution saving throws. So that's the only downside to that. So potentially my necklace, I may want to replace with something else later on, like Amulet of Greater Health, so I have advantage on Constitution saving throws instead to help counteract it. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at my spells in general here. We'll start with rank 1 spells. You can see this is a reaction, so I can't do that. So I should definitely click this and make sure this is on ask. It is, because I don't want to use this if I don't need to. So that's good. So let's go ahead and go to a rank 2 spell here. So you have Blood Spike. So I could do a bunch of damage to people already like underneath of the ground. So that's what I'm going to do. Let's do it on, can I get all 3? We'll do it on these 2. Oh my god, that's cool. So it removes the blood, does damage, and because I also have the weapon to do like lightning bolts and stuff from my legendary weapon, like I'm just applying even more debuffs to the enemy. That's really sick. Let's go ahead and take a look at a cantrip now. So Bloody Needle sounds amazing. So does Blood Bolt. So let's see if the chest piece does stack with this. So we'll start with Blood Bolt here, and we'll use it on this character up front since she can heal. I don't think I need to, I rolled a 35, so let's not react to that. All right, that was really cool looking. She is literally disintegrated. That is a sick looking cantrip. And as you can see, I have life essence. Oh my god, so I do get life essences. This is so dope. So let's take a look here though. That did 43 necrotic damage from a spell. All right, let's take a look at, that was a cantrip, guys, right? Like, what the heck? So yeah, +6 modifier. Oh my god, this is insane. That's so much extra damage. Oh my god. That, all right, if you're going to be using this class, I'm just guarantee you have to do a solo playthrough. That was insane. That is so much damage from Blood Spike. Or not Blood Spike, god. Blood Bolt. Like that's unreal. That's a cantrip. That's a cantrip. Oh my god. All right, well, I'm just going to end my turn. Not going to react to that. So he would hit me. So I am going to use shield here just to make sure I don't get hit, which means I can't use the other reaction now. But I kind of want them to continue to miss because I'm solo. So shield is probably really useful. Oh, he hit me anyway. Okay. Ooh, some good damage here. Oh my god, some really good damage. Oh no, Gale, don't die on me, please. All right, so I just got healed a lot. Let's take a look at what healed me here. So I healed 12 3d4, which makes sense because that's the bonus thing. So either I got super lucky or the necklace I talked about to heal me healed me for full. I got hit by my slashing damage and necrotic damage from blood power, but I did not get affected by the Kalos glow ring and the radiating orbs, which is what I was worried about. All right, so now that is my turn. Let's go ahead and consume a life essence so I get to cast for free. We're going to use Quicken Spell, and we're going to use a 6th rank spell slot here. So let's take a look. Crimson Leech. This sounds really cool. This is going to kill. Oh my god, does this get everybody? This is the most OP thing ever if it hits everybody. Let's see. Alright, no, it does not. But that did a lot of damage to myself. Holy crap. I almost killed myself from that. Okay, but it was free and he died, so I can use Consume Life again and just upcast anything I want to a 6 spell for free. Super OP. Okay. I need to heal here. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to use Sanguine Feast, and it's an AoE around me, so let's go ahead and get that on everyone. Ah, that's nice. I just healed a good amount. And because of Call of the Week, lightning and my radiating orbs, I did a bunch of AoE damage. Look how much I just healed from that. That's really good. All right, so the necklace doesn't affect this. It was based on damage, it seems. Okay. And this guy's basically dead, so I'm going to have to test out the other spells I wanted to test out in a second. I'll have to kill these guys again, I guess. Let's go ahead and see what other spells I can use to finish this guy off. So, you know what? Let's do the other cantrip. I haven't done the other cantrip yet. Blood Needle. Target's too close, it doesn't matter. I have a 90% chance to hit him anyway. And I get Life Essence again. And of course, we have that guy all the way up there. So we're going to go ahead and just end our turn. So he's going to hit me here. I could use shield again, but I'm not going to. I'm going to let him hit me. Ooh, because my haste potion ended, I'm about to die. Now, this is why I didn't want to use it, because I wanted to use my reaction on this. So now I can react to attack an attacker with Bloody Attack, doing a bunch of damage, which is insane. So we're going to upcast this to rank 6 and kill him, because I have... Did I use Consume Life Essence? I don't know if I used it or not, but who cares? Oh my god, this class is super OP, guys. Oh my god. And because I have Consume Life Essence, I can just continue to do my 6th rank spell slot. That's dope. There's some other things I wanted to test, though. If you take a look at some of the spells, where's the one that could potentially root people? This one here. I wanted to see if I use... Was it Extended Spell? If this would double this condition here. It might, so we're going to load again and see if that works. All right, guys, I'm back to test out some of the spells we haven't tested out for this yet. So let's go ahead and get a Bloodbath on everybody. Damn. That's such a great way to just get everybody CC'd and whatnot. All right, so I did want to test out the Metamagic Extended Spell here, because I wanted to see if this was going to affect this spell here to where they all end up getting... Oh my god, the range on this is freaking insane. Will this kill someone? Let's not do that. Can I use it at rank 3? No. Rank 4? Oh, it is a 5th rank spell, so I have to... Alright, I hope it doesn't kill him. Dang it. It killed most of them. But he is restrained for 2 turns, so it does work. Oh my god, that is insane. That is insane. Now, these guys died, but I don't have my life essence, even though I'm using the Staff of Cherished Necromancy. And I'm assuming that's because they died from Call of the Week, maybe? Yeah, Call of the Week, that's why. So if Call of the Week kills them rather than the spell, I don't get the Cherished Necromancy thing. He's stuck there. So I'm just going to kill this guy all the way down there. Let's go ahead and move to a blood surface here. What should I do to kill him? Let's go ahead and do Arcane Battery. Is there any other spells I didn't showcase here? Let's just take a look. Oh, I didn't. Did I do the big like Blood Crimson Blast? I don't think I did. I'm not bleeding yet. Hold on. Let me bleed first so I don't take extra damage here. We'll try bleeding him. All right, he's bleeding. So now we're going to use a free level 6 spell, and we are going to do the giant fire, like blood fireball, I'm assuming. Whoa, my god, that is a cool spell effect. That is sick. Oh my god, that looked cool. They died from Call of the Week. All that guy can do is throw things at me. Okay, so I was wrong. So look how much damage I took on my turn here. So I apologize. In my statement earlier, I was wrong. Because I am using the radiating, the Kalos Glow Ring and lightning charges. I just got hit by my own lightning charge and the Kalos Glow Ring. So you may not want to use these as this build because you get a bunch of bonuses if you are bleeding, which then makes you take slashing damage. So even though I just got healed for 12, look how much damage I just took on my own turn. That's a lot of damage. So you do take a lot of extra damage by yourself. So definitely probably going to want to use Amulet of Greater Health without a doubt. Probably Ring of Mental Inhibition in combination with something else. All right, so is there any other spells I didn't use? I apologize. I don't actually remember. So we did Grasp of the Dead. Did I do that? Yep, that we tested that out. It was really cool. I didn't do Bloodstorm yet. Or Blood Ray, I don't think. This is okay, so this is basically, oh my god. This is essentially Scorching Ray, but as like blood damage. Oh my god, that's insane. Here, let's attack this little kid up here. Oh no! That's so much damage! And I was healed. Oh my god. What? Oh my god, that's too funny. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at this spell. Alright, so is there anything else I didn't do? Sanguine Feast, that was what healed me earlier. Crimson Blast we just did. I think, is it just Bloodstorm? I think it might be. Alright, buddy, you get to see my Bloodstorm. Oh my god. That is a sick spell. Holy crap, that's cool. And that's basically how it works, guys. You hurt yourself and do a bunch of damage to the enemy. This is very, very strong. Keep in mind the Kalos Glow Ring and stuff will hurt you. You can see I got Radiating Orbs on myself also from the Coruscation Ring. Because you do take damage when on your turn from bleeding, it applies all those effects to yourself. So you definitely want to be careful. So you definitely may not want to utilize these instead and use something else. Anyway, guys, I'm Ronan. I really hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe if you're new. And if you want to see me try a solo honor mode run using the Blood Sorcerer, let me know because I'm really thinking about doing it.